Hey y'all, I'm Josh Jensen, and this is my song Birdhouse. Never thought I'd fly again to this side of town. I'm picking up the pieces till they're all found. The shrapnel of this bomb you sent will be made whole. Juxtapose catastrophe into laughter for my soul. And we fear and we hold on to the song. And we're near to the places we left off. I start to hear the whispers and find it's the birdhouse I'm in. And we ease a little closer to end up where we began. Where we began. Always thought I'd fly again to this side of town. The pieces of my heart still scattered around. Why does serendipity always come falling down like rain? From clouds spun high above in whimsical refrain. And we fear and we hold on to the song. And we're near to the places we left off. And my blood turns whiskey into wine. And this heart still beats while I'm dying. I start to hear the whispers and find it's the birdhouse I'm in. And we ease a little closer to end up where we began. Yeah, where we began. I start to hear the whispers and find it's the birdhouse I'm in. And we ease a little closer to end up where we began. Where we began.
So I did not know that you had stage presence like that, bro.
Stage like you mean?
Hey, you was jamming, you was smiling, you was having a great time up there, bro.
Yeah, I did a one-handed keyboard, the other hand beer drink.
See, I'm saying that's that finesse, that little steez with it.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that Chris. For those who don't know, Chris came to the Her Name Was Princess show we played at the Wild Buffalo last Thursday.
Yeah,
and it was we opened for Cumulus, who has also been on the show here, and it was a rip-roaring good time.
Nice.
So
hell yeah, it was.
entertaining.
But you know what? We better have a rip-roaring good time today, too.
Yeah, we're bringing it.
Because we have a legendary guest today.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and give a fancy intro real quick.
His name is Josh Jensen.
Man. Yes.
Is that as fancy as we're going to get?
All right, that works.
Very solemn.
What's up, Josh? How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you all?
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
feeling good.
Yeah, thank you for having me out today.
Oh, man, no, you
Super
drove all the
excited.
way up here, so appreciate
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But for the people that don't know, who is Josh Jensen?
Sure. Well, I'm a dad. I am a husband.
First and foremost.
First
you're a
and
dad.
foremost.
Yeah, that's for real, though.
That's the black circles under my eyes.
Yeah.
I am a part business owner and environmental consultant, and I am a musician. When everybody goes to sleep, the guitar comes out, and I play and record music, and just released an album in March, actually, through Washington's Records with Sam and Tim. And
This is where we landed.
this is where we landed.
Boom.
Out now. And
Go stream that. Go buy that.
the vinyl is supposed to arrive this week. I don't know if Sam hasn't gotten back to me yet, so I assume it's still en route. But it was in South Carolina, I think, last Friday.
Yeah, sometimes that last week or two could be kind of a question mark.
Sorry, stretching.
One time I was buying something and I was just really eager to get it and it just didn't show up, and I finally looked at the tracking updates and it said tracking delayed, train derailed. And it was like in Montana, this train derailed, and it was
gosh.
like, oh, well, that's probably not going to show
I
up.
ran into a moose.
Yeah, could be.
Damn, moose hit the caboose.
The records might have some dented corners.
It's those character, bro.
So because Sam's the one that does the wheeling and dealing on that behalf, did you go for the proper vinyl or did you go for the pet record, the plastic?
Went for the pet record.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a translucent blue. It looks
Fuck yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Stoked for it.
Honestly, I prefer that. They put some flavor on there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
it's
a good neighbor.
Good neighbor. Always been a great experience for
Stay
all of
firm
us. That,
I
know, yeah, come on, just step on it. Yeah, I did Vandal Hands of Man through them. Hannah did Sunday Cowboy through them, and now you've done.
This is
This
where
is
we
where
landed.
on
Yeah.
this one. So, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You know,
A limited run of 200. I heard they're upping it to 300 after me. But
we've been
So I
milking
got
that
in.
200 minimum. You know, the small batch.
it's a great deal. It's fantastic.
Because it does add up.
Yeah.
You know, but
But speaking about the final product, let's talk about the process and what was the what was the process of making this? What are some of the things that you went through? Some of the things that you learned?
Yeah.
Give us a little journey with that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start a little bit before that.
Okay.
I recorded an album called Moontime, all on my phone in my basement during COVID in
Like
20.
band lab type thing?
Band Lab, yeah. Good call.
it's
You
kind of
know.
nice.
So this was in 2022, and I was thinking these are starting to sound kind of decent. Like I need to find somebody to produce them, and so buddy of mine who I actually met in Bellingham, Luke Rain. He's a producer, engineer, DJ, life coach. He's does a little bit of everything.
Wears a lot of hats.
Right. I reached out to him and he was like, yeah, send me the tracks. Let's do this. And he was starting to build his business engineering and producing at the time. So I sent him a bunch of tracks and we kind of just went through track by track, and it was a super fun and rewarding process. I mean, it was easy for me because I had a newborn at home at the time. So I was just like sitting there mixing tracks while I'm rocking a baby to sleep.
Yep. Hey, that's a good feeling right there, honestly.
Right. But I sent him the tracks and he gave me some great feedback. I had to go back and re-record a couple of things here and there.
Oh yeah.
But
Did he do it in kind of a passive aggressive way, or was he nice about it?
He's
Aggressive,
very
aggressive.
much very much a perfectionist, which is why I love Luke. I love you, Luke. He has just this way about him where he's like, if it's not perfect, let's keep going until we get that. So in this case, he was a little more passive because he knew it was my material that I had been working on. So he was like, hey, there might be a couple things you might want to redo in here just to give it a different flavor or
Spruce it
whatever.
up.
Yeah. So we went through the process. It was super rewarding, like I said, and he ended up opening up his studio a little bit more. He has a home studio down in South Seattle, and I, took advantage back at the end of 2023, recorded a song that I had written with him, not with him, sorry, I recorded with him a song that I had written.
Yes.
And it was awesome. So the way that Luke works is he goes chunk by chunk. So you're playing the intro 4 or 5 times, just the guitar, and then you're playing the verse 4 or 5 times, just the guitar, and you're going through and patchworking this perfect mix of each of those. Do that with every instrument, and he's a DJ. He does drum and bass type stuff. And so
very, very technical, very on the tee.
It's very on a tee. Everything in this album you hear is going to be perfect. But the cool thing about working with Luke is he does this drum and bass thing. So he's like, hey, you're kind of swinging that beat a little bit. Why don't you try this instead of, the click track? Mm-hmm. Like, why don't we go with this like cool little samba-y thing or whatever? He'll put this beat down that just completely jives with whatever I'm playing, and it's like magic.
I've noticed
so
that
fun
when listening to the album A to Z, there is like a very buoyant feel. Like it does have like a very it's very dancey 4 on the floor at times, and then it goes into very dark, kind of mysterious, little sexy jazz occasionally. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like a little mystery to it. And that's one of the things I really love is when an artist can, really expand and stretch out and do a lot of different genres. And it seems like you guys really nailed a lot of those very subtle scene changes, even within songs.
Yeah, and that's something I've been guilty of in bands I've been in the past, where I'm playing, I'm like, we got to mix this up. Let's do, something completely different, and the drummer has to slow down, or, the bass is playing something different, and it's just fun to like mix it up and keep the crowd guessing, especially if you're playing in a band in a kind of setting. In this instance, it's me writing stuff essentially by myself, and then bringing it to Luke, and then Luke is like, hey, why don't we try doing this, or this isn't quite working, and he's kind of working with me through the process, working with me through the songwriting process. And at times he's like, you are way too heady with this, like we need to make this a little more palatable, a little more understandable, rework these words, or rework this part.
That's a good homie to have.
Come back later, and he's just very, very honest and super fun to work with. Like I said, kind of a coach, kind of an engineer, kind of a producer, and he's doing it all, and it's super fun.
We'll be right back after these messages. We'd like to give a special thanks to Lost Giant Cider Company, always providing us with our cider beverages and the best of the cider beverages. Visit Lost Giant's tap room in the heart of Bellingham at 1200 Meter Avenue in the Haskell Business Center. It's just down the street from Lakeway Fred Meyer.
Menace Brewing, located in the Fountain District, is where flavor is unleashed. It serves as a local hub of craft beer and community. Recognized as the neighborhood's premier soccer hangout, I love me some soccer. Menace Brewing isn't just a brewery, it's the go-to spot for sports action and local engagement. Visitors can catch the game, connect with fellow fans, and immerse themselves in the heart of the spirited community. Menace Brewing invites everyone to join them, where every visit feels like coming home. Experience Menace Brewing in Bellingham today.
And welcome back.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's also on the first track, I noticed that it sounds like there's a live audience for it.
Right.
And I was like, is this a live album? And
You gotta do that.
that was the only track that had that.
Yeah.
But it added a lot of energy and excitement to the track.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a buddy of mine, David Clark, who I'd run some ideas off of. Like, I sent him one of the demos, and he's like, man, this sounds like a foot stomping front porch sweet jam. Like, you need to put something behind it, like get some people. And so Luke, he just found a patch and put it in. So there's not really any crew there to help support, but
Make it give that extra depth though.
yeah, it gives it that good live feel to it, which is fun.
In the past, I've done it where I would invite all my friends over for a party, and then I'd have all these microphones set up.
That's awesome.
And it's like, you guys are going to be my gang chorus for this.
Yeah.
But sometimes the singing is so shitty that we can't use it at all. But it was a good time anyway.
Hey, man, just use it as acapella though. So like do the song, like do like another gang vocal where it's like everything's singing right.
Yeah.
The song ends and then the shitty one comes through.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give it that extra feel.
Like the
you know
beat
what I'm
drops.
saying?
It's like when they turn the lights on.
But everybody won't stop.
Like at last call in the bar when they turn the lights on and everybody looks like shit.
Well, now you have auto-tune, so you can have 52 people auto-tuned.
Oh, yeah.
That would sound crazy. Yeah. Harmony engine, bro.
Right.
But auto-tuning that many voices on one track at the same time, the computer brain doesn't know what to do with it. It has a seizure on you.
You're watching Disney Channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So what's your approach to songwriting? Because it seems very varied. Are you a lyrics first person, melody first, all
yeah.
over the board?
I'd say a bit over the board, but kind of my go-to is just, I don't know, I get this like feeling in my mind that like I've got to write a song right now. And so I'll usually have like ideas written out and I'll pick up my guitar and I'll start kind of fiddling around and then I'll kind of leaf through. I've got a journal that I keep. I try to write daily. It's more like monthly, but
Hey, consistency is key.
try.
That's all that really matters. It don't got to be every day, but as long as you stay consistent.
Trying. So taking ideas that I've had, or sometimes it's just a totally fresh thing. The last month or so, I've been doing more of like experimental stuff where I'm just pull up the DAW, find a cool beat, like start putting music over it, guitar, sometimes keys or whatever, and just kind of writing something on the spot. Like, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? And just kind of pencil it out, sleep on it, adjust the words and go. And I'd say that's a standard process for me, is kind of writing on the spot.
Yeah.
Usually having like an idea or a concept, but then it just all kind of just happens.
Yeah.
And then usually, by the end of the night or by the end of the week, if it needs a couple of iterations, it's like, I'm ready. This is good. Put this out. Take it to Luke. Luke will change it.
Yeah.
He'll provide some insight and provide some ideas and, kind of button it up a little bit, and then we record. And yeah, it's been a great process. And so that was the last year and a half working on this album, was just whenever he's in town off of tour, when I'm available, I'll go over there, usually, 9 p.m. and we'll have a session until about 2 a.m. and just rally through, get drums, bass, guitar, keys, vocals down or whatever. And then something that's been really fun about this record is bringing people in and collaborating. So a lot of the songs I wrote with other people in mind or other instruments in mind. And that was really neat to just... If you've heard of Corey Wong, he does the same thing. So he did a kind of talk show during COVID where he'd like bring in these guests and they'd play a song together. And Corey, like, he's very much a lead guitarist. He can just rip, but he can totally lay back. He writes these songs that like lift whoever else is playing
Basically
up.
fill space for them.
Yeah, he's like, I know your style. I'm gonna match that and I'm gonna just let you go. So like he had Bela Fleck on and Billy Strings and some other people that just like killed it. I mean, he built this, palette and was like, here, I'm just gonna let you shine, go. And they just completely nailed it. So that was kind of my inspiration a little bit, was like, just gonna write something simple, or write something that's very focused on having these other instrumentalists come in and just rock. And I mean, like Birdhouse is a prime example, where I had a trombone player, a saxophone player, and a mandolin player and a bass player come into the studio at different times and like come in and lay down their parts and really, lift that song up, so to speak.
You've seen it like piece by piece, just kind of growing and molding to what it is now.
Totally.
That's dope.
Totally.
A good friend of mine, Chandra Johnson, she's a violinist, and I was taking songwriting really seriously for a while, and she had to sit down with me, and she's like, Tim,
Relax.
when you say you don't when you make music, you play music. There's a reason why there's like play is the verb that we have in it, that there's an element of spontaneity, and there's like supposed to be fun and bouncing off of walls and, you know, like fucking around. There's got to
some
be
shit you wouldn't normally say.
Yeah, there's got to be that loose fun thing. So one thing with the loops where it's just improvisation, you're just keeping it loose, experimenting, the fun of just like, what happens if I do this? And then also the fun of just like bringing in like wild cards into the studio, you know, just bringing other people in there. It often makes makes it explode, you know, which I am a big fan of. But yeah, I think when I was just getting started, I had a very like head in hand, you know, like tortured artist sort of idea of like how art is supposed to be created. You know,
I feel like everybody gets there at some point, because when you start to learn too much.
Yeah.
When you start to learn too much, you're like, oh no, these are the parameters. And then you gotta remember to forget those parameters, forget all that shit, and just do whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, make your art, man. Get it out there.
Definitely, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
And, like, I look at things I used to write back then when I thought I was dark and, you know, mysterious, and I was like, this shit is insufferable.
I bet that shit going crazy though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put the right beat on that thing, they go crazy.
Oh yeah. No, that yeah. So lessons learned, and
Let me rap those lyrics.
yeah, as soon as I like, the older I get, the goofier I get, and the more people seem to enjoy the music. So that's you know.
I get it though. I mean, to kind of build on that, I feel like I had those influences like in high school where I was like, oh yeah, the dark tortured artist. Like that's what you got to be. And so like I similarly wrote some dark songs and dark lyrics, and like was like, oh, this is gonna be so great, and like, you know, intense, and people are gonna relate. All three of those people.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, as you kind of grow and mature, you're like, nah, you gotta move those goalposts and really, open it up.
I just heard an interview with Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes, who has written some of the like darkest, like, you know, like especially his early days, like super poignant, emo, you know, dark, introspective stuff. And he was talking with Andy Richter, the sidekick from Conan. He's got a Three Questions podcast. It was a great episode. And he was the goofiest guy I've ever heard. They were like giggling the whole time.
Nice.
And
That's really how it be though.
Yeah.
That's really how it is.
Right.
The most bubbly motherfucker going through the most.
Yeah.
Or at least just has the most, or I guess maybe not even going through the most, but maybe has like the really good understanding of what that other side feels and what it does.
Yeah. The capacity for darkness.
There you go. See, that's why I need you right here, bro. That's why I need you right here.
So you had, you said something about you recorded in the grungiest place in Washington,
Yeah, what's up
according
with that,
to Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Well, how do I introduce this? So my dad's cousin, Gary Mula, he passed away in March, unfortunately, but he was a recording engineer, and he was my kind, you know, he was family. Like we were the two of the few musicians in the family. So we connected, you know, when I was young and early on. And he actually was instrumental. He and my folks picked out my first guitar, and like, you know, really introduced me to music. And when I was in high school, I was in a pop punk band called Popular by Association.
That kind of go crazy. I like that.
And, you know, we thought we were Blink 182, and we were writing these just half goofy songs, half of those dark, brooding songs. There was a combination there, but we wrote music, we were performing, and Gary was kind enough to let us come to the studio. So I grew up in small town Eastern Washington.
Which town?
Ephrata, Washington.
I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the answer I get. Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
Wait, what's that near?
Yeah.
I
I got guests there one time.
Yeah, right. Quincy, Moses Lake.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Yep.
So small town, you know, little small town ruffian going to the big city. It was an awesome adventure. We go this. He had a studio called Call I Productions, but it was in a big practice space. So we had like, I don't know, 8 to 10 practice rooms, I think, and he called it the Dutchman, and it was right under the like First Ave and Spokane Street overpass, just this little tiny like nook. And I came to learn that Nirvana practiced there, and like I think Mother Love Bone and these other like classic, sort of the initial grunge bands would all like rent these spaces out and practice. And I remember talking to Gary about it, and he's like, yeah, Nirvana was the loudest fucking band I've ever had in that studio. Like they would just crank it up to 11 and just go. And he's like, and I'd occasionally see him, you know, they'd take a break and go to the bathroom or whatever, and I'd see him in passing and we kind of say hi or whatever. But yeah, I guess in some interview, Kurt Cobain famously called it the grungiest place in Seattle. So my band in the year 2000 got to go, you know, put everything in the car and head over the mountains, and we spent a day recording with Gary, and it was super fun. I mean, he was just so professional. He just this like Pro Tools guru, and he had, you know, this awesome setup and just totally killed it. It was such a cool experience to like come to the city, come to this kind of iconic place and you know, lay down your tracks and get a good product out of it. So
Fucking legendary.
yeah, super fun. Yeah, and Gary, I mean, he's got his thumbprint on the Seattle music scene for sure. I mean, he's just it was really sad to see him pass, and it was, you know, something that just, those are the type of people. He would see you, he'd give you the biggest bear hug, and he would just like, you know, at that moment you were his person with whoever it was. Yeah. And you know, there's very few people like that in this world, and it's definitely something that we need to see more of. But you know, his presence is missed, but his legend lives on. So
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we need to collect more people like that in this world, I think.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's a footprint right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to record with him again back in 2012. I did my first solo album, and he was super busy. He would do Dobe Fest in the summer, and he was like busy prepping for that. He did sound for that, and I think he was playing with some groups. Mm-hmm. So kind of in between all of that, he was like, yeah, I'll record you. Come on down. I'll give you the friends and family discount. So I did a couple of nights on the stage of the Columbia City Theater, where Jimi Hendrix used to frequent, apparently lived just a few steps away.
Man.
And so I feel
your
like
legacy is just kissed with all these
I know.
rock legends. Wow.
If only my music was that good.
It is. Believe God. You better believe that.
Yes. That's right.
You'll be the next face on that Mount Rushmore of Seattle rockers, you know?
Only in due time.
New era, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
We'll be right back after these messages. We'd like to give a special thanks to Lost Giant Cider Company, always providing us with our cider beverages and the best of the cider beverages. Visit Lost Giant's tap room in the heart of Bellingham at 1200 Meter Avenue in the Haskell Business Center. It's just down the street from Lakeway Fred Meyer.
Menace Brewing, located in the Fountain District, is where flavor is unleashed. It serves as a local hub of craft beer and community. Recognized as the neighborhood's premier soccer hangout, you know I love me some soccer. Menace Brewing isn't just a brewery, it's the go-to spot for sports action and local engagement. Visitors can catch the game, connect with fellow fans, and immerse themselves in the heart of the spirited community. Menace Brewing invites everyone to join them, where every visit feels like coming home. Experience Menace Brewing in Bellingham today.
And welcome back. We are back to our regularly scheduled programming.
So you've prepared for us a song.
Sure have, Tim.
All right. Let's hear it, Josh.
All right. The song is called Be Human. It's available everywhere you digest music. The single features Hannah White on the fiddle. And again, it's called Be Human.
dancers with their axes open up the show, moving on the axis. This old rodeo has set them down beside us. Take a cordial bow, moving toward the exit, play into the crowd. We should move along from talking about the weather. Get brazen, try to get along together. Find purpose now or next to one another. Be human if it means setting aside what is me. Microphones are up now, louder than the rest, picking up that new sound. Crowd is a mess, those that support us, others not so much. Take access to the wire, try to make the cut. We should move along from talking about the weather. Get brazen, try to get along together. Find purpose now or next to one another. Be human if it means setting aside what is me. What is me? What is me?
Most
guys.
excellent.
Hell yeah, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
Vibes. I love that.
So what went into writing that song? What was the germ of inspiration for that one?
Yeah, the germ of inspiration was right before I went and saw that Bob Dylan biopic, Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
My father-in-law had seen it, and we were just kind of chatting about it. He goes, "There's this really cool scene where like these dancers with their axes open up at this Newport Folk Festival in 1967, and they're playing and they leave their axes by the stage. Everybody goes nuts, they leave, and when Bob Dylan comes out with his rock band, he comes out at this folk festival, and I think Pete Seeger, I looked it up actually. There's a rumor that he said he wishes that he could have taken axes to the wires and stop the production. But the film actually has him grab an axe and he's like, "I'm gonna, we're gonna stop this."
Yeah. That is some Dylan lore.
Yeah, totally, totally. So I kind of riffed on that a little bit and kind of added sort of my spin to it as just, there's a harsh political climate out there. people are not getting along. This is just a song about kind of setting you aside and just being human with whoever you're with. So, you know, like just getting along. It's kind of a kumbaya song in a way, but with a fun, you know, kind of visual story behind it.
Yeah, powerful imagery on that one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Sick.
All right. Well, without further ado,
Wait, hold on, bro. I got my favorite question in the whole wide world. I love to do this at the end of everything. Actually, matter of fact, before we even get there, you have anything coming up that people can get, where people can catch you? Anything of that nature? Any shows?
Yeah, so I am playing at the Folklife Festival on May 25th from 1 to 2 p.m. So you can catch me there. It's actually kind of cool. It's through this program called Buscarama. It was born in Pike Place Market. Try to get people out, get musicians out, fill that space with music. We're doing the same thing here. There's going to be tents around where just artists are slotted to play music.
Wait, where's this located at?
This is down in Seattle Center
Okay.
during Memorial Day weekend.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I am currently working on a Bellingham show to do a vinyl release party for the vinyl release of This Is Where We Landed.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. I have my eyes set on the honeymoon, but
Oh, we make that shit happen. That'd be a vibe.
oh yeah, we
I'm
can.
open to wherever.
Yeah, if you need any assistance, I can reach out to some folks too if you need.
Yeah, we're powerful names in this town.
Hey, nah,
We ring out.
I gotta get somebody up. I got a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, we've created a lot of stars and we brought a lot of them down.
You know?
Not really. I'm joking. We do nothing but elevate here.
Nah, fuck that. We be fuck the club up. Fuck the club. All right, but no, on some real shit though. One of my favorite things is it doesn't have to be music related. It can be about anything and everything. What is one piece of advice that you have for the listeners out there?
Oh boy.
Take your time. There's no rush, but also whatever comes first, that's what you really want to tell them.
Right. I mean, I think, you know, for the listeners out there, it's be human. Just embrace each other. Stop the division. It's unnecessary, and we need to just sort our differences and come together, because all of this division is just hurting more than it is helping at this point. So that would be my piece of advice right now.
I'm with it. Or like, even if you don't see it the same way, just like chill, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like shit.
Even if you are a divided person, just chill out about it.
Like, have a regular conversation. Don't be yelling and all that shit.
Okay, so you advocate de-escalation.
I advocate de-escalation. I advocate individualism, as well as like, I mean, yeah, we don't all got to be on the same page, but I mean, there's some shit is like, bro, you know that shit wrong. Like, why the
Right.
We're not going to get too crazy right here. But my name is Chrvns.
I'm Tim Mechling.
Josh Jensen.
This is Shut Up and Listen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Shout out our sponsors, Menace Brewing, Lost Giants. Shout out Binary Bob and Binary Bob's Recording Studio, baby. Anything you want to shout out?
I like the beer. It's good.
All right, shout out my mama. Shout out my sister. Hey, shout out my dog Cooper and my son. Hey, shout out Rock, bro. This one for you, bro. Your episode blew up, bro. Hope you know that. Yeah, y'all have a good time. Y'all get hydrated, stay moisturized, and, you know, put sunscreen on. Y'all don't burn out there. Cut.
Thanks again for tuning in to Shut Up and Listen. For more captivating content, including videos, articles, and everything music related, visit our website at shutupbham.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts and join the conversation by following us at Shut Up and Listen BHAM on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Shut Up and Listen is proudly produced by Rocket Soul and Binary Recording Studio. Stay tuned for more fantastic episodes.